Morning waiting for the leadership of the ANC. And we undertook that the leadership of the ANC will come to address them. So without much ado, we are going to make this an interactive session. We have not prepared a media briefing. Will allow you to ask clarity-seeking questions, and immediately the SG will answer on issues that you are raising. But I think the SG would address you on the recent developments of the violent protests that we saw around Johannesburg and parts of Gauteng today. The SG will address you on the topical issue on eThekwini mayorship. I think from there you are allowed to engage the SG, but we'll just give him some time because we still have to go and work on other issues. SG, I'll give over to you just to brief our colleagues, and from there allow them to ask questions. Thank you. Over to you, Secretary General.
I don't know whether they want to ask questions. Okay.
No, thank you very much. I'm sure there are two things you are aware of. Today we met with the top 5 of our province of KwaZulu-Natal. You have been raising this issue of Mayor Zandile. We have actually engaged Comrade Zandile, the mayor of eThekwini, and this morning we met the officials of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and I think the comrades have taken us into confidence as to how they are dealing with that issue of Comrade Zandile. It's not just a matter of Comrade Zandile. I think officials of KZN have assessed our performance in various municipalities throughout KZN, and they have reached certain decisions. We are further engaging them tomorrow to conclude this matter. So we'll conclude this matter by tomorrow after having listened to both sides, Comrade Zandile and others, as well as Comrades leadership of KZN. We hope that this matter will receive the necessary attention, and it will be finalized tomorrow amicably by all parties, because once the ANC takes decisions, and that's what Comrade Zandile has said, and that's what the leadership of KZN has said, whatever decision which the national headquarters take, they all abide with that decision. We'll take the decision which is in the interest of the African National Congress. Number 2, I think you have seen some levels of violence which is unacceptable, irrespective of whatever reasons people want to give. But we have realized that Comrade Minister of Police, Comrade Begi, and the Premier of Gauteng, as well as leadership of the ANC, is on the ground. And we once more want to make a plea to our people, wherever they are, to make sure that there is peace and stability in this province and all over South Africa. We condemn this violence which is taking place, irrespective of whatever reasons people want to give, as unacceptable. And we further said, this is time for all South Africans to come together. This is time for us to unite. This is time for society to ensure that we live in peace and harmony. I'm sure those are the 2 key things you are expecting us to address today. And if there are any questions, I'm sure we'll take questions.
Thank you very much, leadership. We will then allow you to ask clarity-seeking questions. If you're content, you can say so that we call off the briefing. Oh, the hands are up. We'll start with you. You just introduce yourself and the brand, where you come from, a media house, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. In that order, comrades, from the media.
Well, my name is I just want to ask the General on the name and have you been briefed as the ANC in terms of what might have been the cause, and if indeed you've been briefed in terms of what is the cause of this? Do we have maybe any solution towards the problem?
Okay. Second,
Tato Malisa from the Sowetan. SG, I just wanted to ask, what are some of the issues that Zandile Kumele raised when you met with her? Why is she not willing to accept the decision of the province and the call that she made to you? Was it any different did she raise anything different to what she raised initially when we met 2 weeks ago, or when she came to Luthuli House? And then I'm just going to go off a bit on the topic. I know that you met with the Gauteng PEC on Monday last week. We haven't heard about on the issue of the pen dropping one male MEC. We haven't received any feedback on that. Please can you just tell us if there was any decision that was made on that?
thank you. Number 3.
Natasha Peel here from the SABC. Just maybe in relation to Deborah's question, will there ever be an end, like, an end in sight to actually what's going on? I think also people are very angry, just gauging on social media, and people are saying there is no leadership, there's lack of leadership, nobody's saying anything about, these sporadic meetings. Secondly, the economic strategy plan by Finance Minister Vito Mboweni has been rejected by the alliance partners, the SABC and COSATU. My understanding is that you also had a meeting with, the Finance Minister today. I don't know if it was actually true or not. But what is the ANC stance on this economic strategy plan? Thank you.
Samukelo Masolo from ANC, and really much covered. But on the issue of Zandile Kumele SG, is this a case of the ANC's top 6 having the power to overturn the PEC decision to recall the mayor of eThekwini that represented the Kumele? Is that one of the issues we are looking at as the ANC? Secondly, if you look at the process that was followed in the 2016 local government elections, province, the steps that were followed in 2016 in the local government elections, provinces where there are metros, such as Mangaung, where you were the provincial chairperson of, in the Free State, provinces had to submit 3 names of people who are candidates to become mayors in metro municipalities. Did the KZN PEC follow a flawed process by not allowing the ANC's National Deployment Committee and the NWC to scrutinize 3 names which they may have submitted to you to select the mayor of eThekwini to replace Zandile Kumele? Is the process basically to replace Zandile flawed? And are you also looking at reviewing Mxolisi Kaunda's candidature to become the mayor of eThekwini? Lastly, there's an issue of femicide that has just happened in the country of a UCT student who went missing, and it was later found out that a man who works at the post office killed her and raped her brutally. What is the ANC's message, particularly knowing that we've just come out of Women's Month and we end Women's Month with the brutal murder of a young girl? Thank you.
SG, you can call me in with your proper instruction.
Yeah, I'll call you in. Any question which I don't respond to, you'll respond to it. No, let me start with easy questions. They are all easy. Nothing difficult. No, Gauteng, our decision as the National Executive Committee of the ANC is that Gauteng will implement the decision of the National Executive Committee because the rest of the country has done so. We have said where there is a premier who is male, we need 60% women and 40% men. So that will be the case. We have met with Gauteng leadership. They have not resisted implementing the decision of the National Executive Committee because the highest decision-making body is the National Executive Committee, and nobody can defy that structure. So our comrades in Gauteng have met with us, and we know what they are doing. We have given them the platform, the time, the space to engage, and they will soon finalize this matter. It's not a difficult matter to be finalized. So what the media said that they will never implement, they are still busy discussing, they will still want to see us. I think we have seen them and we won't see them again because they shall have to go and implement the decision, not of officials, of the National Executive Committee, of which they are part of. The issue of Comrade Zandile Gumede, I think we are saying that Comrade Zandile Gumede wanted to be given a hearing by both the provincial as well as national leadership. Because you remember that in our engagement, we always consult and engage the Provincial Executive Committee through its officials whenever we want to take decisions, specifically when it becomes decisions of mayors in metros. They have to bounce it and engage with us. And as the National Executive Committee, we can turn down the decision of any lower structure if we feel that there are reasons to do so. On this matter, I said it's work in progress. Tomorrow, I think around 2 o'clock, there will be a press conference. KZN will be in KZN and we'll make the announcement tomorrow. So relax. Let's make our announcement tomorrow after we shall have actually finalized and engaged everybody. But we'll be able to be mandated to take decisions tomorrow by the national officials. The mayhem, I think, maybe before I go to the mayhem, yes, we met Comrade, the chairperson of our Economic Transformation Subcommittee, as well as Comrade Tito, our deployee as the Minister of Finance, to further engage on the document in terms of the economic plan or economic strategy moving forward. The document is out there. We have agreed that it is necessary to engage all stakeholders. So the document is out there in the public. The ANC structures, the ANC all over, our alliance structures will further be engaged, SACP, COSATU. We have given the space to other mass democratic formations, our communities, so that we take South Africans on board on this document. People have a right to critique it, and it's not all bleak. I'm sure we are dealing with this matter, and at the right time, we will come together as the Alliance Political Council to further refine our inputs as the Alliance. So there is no crisis at all. I think the space has been created for views from all stakeholders in our country. The issue of the mayhem we see, I think we just want to say to the media, this is also time for the media to act responsibly. Because we're told in the morning that there is one media house which has reported that people have been killed, and there is no such. There isn't such. So we are appealing to the media to report accurately, to report responsibly, because these are sensitive issues we are dealing with. And that's what we want to see moving forward. And that's why we are appealing to all South Africans, wherever they are, all those people. And we are saying the police must act, because we see some of these activities as simple acts of criminality. And we have said to the Minister of Police and the security cluster, and we are also saying to peace-loving South Africans, acts of criminality must never be condoned. And the police must act. They must also act responsibly and do their work. And we are encouraged that the police have been dealing with this situation in a very calm way. And society is called upon to be careful and do what is necessary. Nobody must take the law into their own hands, but acts of criminality are not going to be allowed or acceptable.
Thank you, SG. Just one point, the leaders covered all the issues, is the issue of the femicide of the student in the University of Cape Town. I think as the African National Congress, we want to state it categorically clear that we are opposed to any abuse of women and children. We want to condemn in the strongest terms the act of the perpetrator to take away a life, also to rape. I think that's an abhorrent act which any revolutionary movement like the African National Congress, in terms of our ethos and values, we cannot encourage. But besides, because we are an African National Congress, we derive our values and existence from an African nationalist way of life, which is based on Ubuntu. What happened to this poor girl is not Ubuntu. It cannot be encouraged. And as the ANC, we want to condemn this particular act. We hope that the law enforcement agencies, the police, the judiciary, will make further investigation, and a proper sanction must be meted against this perpetrator. But we are also very disappointed, and we hope that the post office, as the place of criminality, will also pronounce themselves, including taking the possible disciplinary steps against this alleged perpetrator, who happened to have been an official of that particular state-owned enterprise. But nevertheless, we are encouraged that so far the police have acted and they've managed to get a confession, which I think it will be considered favorably by those who administer law and justice. We are covered, Comrade SG. Yeah.
What are you getting at the ANC for this movement? Is there anything that you've been told that people are on the street, that people are on the rampage? Because these are what they want. And if indeed we've been told that people are protesting because they want 1, 2, 3, what is your response to those demands that are being?
Look, this issue of the mayhem started last week after there was a matter in Tshwane, in Sunnyside, where there were allegations of drug peddlers who shot a taxi driver, and it sparked this particular mayhem that we find ourselves in. But what becomes problematic from our analysis as the ANC, including from the briefing we have received, is that there is a clear opportunists who have hijacked a pure community concern against drug peddlers but now they've turned it into a criminal act by looting shops, by doing things which are very fine. And we would not want to apportion this thing to our brothers and sisters or foreign nationals. Because the problem of drug peddling, it's a problem perpetuated both by our own nationals in South Africa as well as foreign nationals. They are together in that criminal act, and I think the police needs to act against that. And equally so, even on the looting of shops, it's a criminal act, which I think the police will also have to act, but we are encouraged, like my leader said, the SG, that the police so far have arrested over 60 people just around Johannesburg since the rise of the mayhem yesterday. And so far the police are on board and on course in terms of assisting our communities, including possible further looting of shops. So the police are hands-on, and we are happy as the African National Congress. We want them to do more. But I think this particular matter from our side, as the African National Congress, we don't take it much more the way it has been taken, but we treat it more as a criminal act which needs to be discouraged. And that's why my leader, the SG, has called for all South Africans to remain calm, to respect the rule of law. No one is allowed to take the law into their own hands, because once you take the law into your own hands, you are breaking the rule of law and you'll be in conflict with the law. And as a result of that, you'll become a suspect of a criminal act. So we want to warn all South Africans to be careful, not to act irresponsibly. But secondly is that nobody must be harmed, be it a South African national or a foreign national, because all of us in this country have equal rights, have the right to life. And like I said before, in terms of our African nationalist philosophy of Ubuntu, it's inhumane to treat another person in an ungodly or undignified manner. So it cannot be encouraged from the point of view of the ANC. I'm sure you're covered. Yes.
Some you are covered. You are covered, some. What do you want?
To basically turn over the decision of KZN of either recalling Zandile Kumete or the name that has been chosen as the mayoral candidate of eThekwini, and was the process flawed? Because if you look in 2016, the KZN PEC submitted 3 names for the mayoral candidate of eThekwini. Gauteng, Tshwane, and Johannesburg, 3 names were submitted. I think the same procedure was followed with the other metro municipality in the Free State, which would be Mangaung. This time around, it's the KZN PEC itself that chose the 3 names of who becomes the mayoral candidate within Tatangiti, basically refusing to be the deputy mayor on the 11th hour. So this time around, is KZN flawed? Did they follow a flawed process with the selection of Mkolisi Kaunda without bouncing it with the top 6 leadership and the deployment committee nationally?
No, there is no process which is flawed here. The PEC of KZN discussed, the officials of the ANC and officials in the province discussed, and we even discussed names and all that. And we are saying to you, after our discussions, this matter will be finalized tomorrow. So it is within the PEC, it is within their right to have discussed this matter. And they have not just discussed one name. They have discussed several names, of which we are privy to. So I think we rest our case there. We are in KZN tomorrow to deal with this matter, and after consulting the caucus and all that, engaging them, we'll make our announcement. It doesn't mean that there is disagreement between national and province. We are finding each other on this matter. As I say, it's a simple matter, because the employees of the ANC are the place of the ANC.
So there will be
And
a
the
caucus.
ANC can take any decision in terms of its own members. And we're just happy that both Comrade Zandile and the province have engaged, amicably so. And there will be further engagement tomorrow.
So there's a caucus meeting in the eThekwini Metro tomorrow.
You come.
So there's a caucus meeting at the eThekwini Metro tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we will just engage caucus, and then after that we'll meet Comrade Zandile and the peace officials. Then we will announce our decision. I think this one, Comrade Dakota has responded to it. The challenge and the problems of drugs. It's a serious challenge, a societal issue. And our communities all over South Africa, I think, are facing this challenge. And we are saying, as communities, let's fight together. Let's fight against this. And we are actually saying, whatever reasons people want to give, there's no reason which justify that a criminal act is something which must be condoned. Criminality is criminality. Crime is crime. And that's why we are saying police must just do their work and arrest criminals and opportunists who use community issues which are genuine concerns, and they occupy that space. It should never be allowed by communities as well as by government, especially the police. And the Minister of Police and Comrade Makura and all of us are going to the ground now. They have been down on the ground. The Minister has been meeting with various people, various groups of people, and we are also doing that because as leaders of the country, we have to play that role so that people don't say there is no leadership. There is leadership in South Africa. So we are appealing for peace and calmness in South Africa, and I hope our people will listen to this voice of reason. Okay, thank you.
On the issue of housing, and I just say it like that.
Yeah.
So the PEC from housing met with you on Monday to ask you to give them until at least October to allow the MEC to all present their plans that basically will enforce the manifesto. So those plans will be presented after 100 days, which expires at the beginning of October. So they came in to ask you for that liberty to allow them until that period. Did you agree to that?
No, the PLC came here to want to advance reasons why they should still keep the 50-50. And we said no. He said no, because we as officials, we can't change the decision of the National Executive Committee, which is the decision of a collective and the highest structure. As to when will they implement this, we have agreed. We are in constant consultation and engagement with them. They are going to implement this. We're not going to wait for October. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen from the media. This brings us to the end of our media briefing. The continuation is tomorrow, 2 o'clock, in Durban, on the issue of the eThekwini mayor. Thank you very much. God bless. Arrive home safely. Thank you.
You'll meet us in Durban tomorrow.
Somebody will meet you there.